Hi there, learners! Today I'd like to talk to you about possessive pronouns. Let's break it down. Possess means to own something. A pronoun is a word that takes the place of a noun. Therefore, a possessive pronoun shows ownership. Now, a possessive pronoun can serve several different functions in a sentence. It can act as a modifier, it can act as a subject, or it can even be something pretty fancy called a predicate pronoun. Now, if you've watched the previous videos about predicate adjectives and predicate nominatives, predicate pronoun, it basically serves the same function. I tend not to worry too much about whether a word is a predicate pronoun or a predicate nominative because typically it serves the same function in the sentence. But for your information, possessive pronouns can serve a lot of different functions in a sentence. Let me show you a few examples of the many jobs of the possessive pronoun. Check it out. The underlined words are all possessive pronouns, and as you can see, they each serve a different function in the sentence. Your sweater. Here, your is acting as a modifier for the noun sweater. Mine is. Here, the possessive pronoun mine is acting as the subject of the sentence. That sweater is hers. This is that predicate pronoun that I mentioned at the beginning of the video. If it were me, I would parse this as PN, but you could be fancy and label it PP if you so desire. Now, when we're parsing, typically we label these as POS pro, POS for possessive, PRO for pronoun. But the important part is what function it serves in the sentence. So I would be less concerned with you knowing that this is a possessive pronoun and more concerned that you know it modifies sweater, as opposed to this word, which is also a possessive pronoun, but serves the function of the subject in the sentence. All right, ready to try some examples? Here we go. Just like in previous sentences, we start by finding the subject and the verb. In this sentence, the cat is yours. The sentence is about the cat. That's the subject. Verb is, back to the start. The is an article. Yours is the possessive pronoun. But what function does it really serve in this sentence? It connects back to cat. The cat, yours, it's the same concept. So whether you label this PA or PP or POS pro, the most important part is knowing how to diagram it. Because it's in the predicate but connects back to the subject, it gets a backslash. Like so. The cat is yours. Let me show you another one. Here's the sentence, his new dog is a Labradoodle. The sentence is not about his. The sentence is about the dog. Dog what? Dog is, subject verb. So let's go back to the start of the sentence. His is what part of speech? It's the one that we just learned about today. It's a possessive pronoun. So we label it POS pro. Now, the function that it serves in this sentence is a modifier. His is modifying dog. It's diagrammed just like adjectives, as you'll see in a moment. New, speaking of adjectives, is an adjective. A is an article. And Labradoodle is a type of dog. Names of things are nouns. Because this noun renames the subject, it's a predicate nominative, PN. Now that all of the words are labeled, I'm ready to diagram. Here we go. Notice how I've got a capital H in his because it's the start of the sentence. Also, I have two modifiers for the word dog, so they go in the same order that they appear in the sentence. His new, his new. Both of those modify the noun dog. A modifies Labradoodle. Let's try one more. Here's a nice long sentence for you. My 6th grade teacher had been an environmental scientist. Let's parse. Who or what is the sentence about? Teacher. Teacher what? What's the verb? Had been. Let's start at the beginning. My is what part of speech? Possessive pronoun. And what function does this possessive pronoun serve in the sentence? I'm noticing that it's my teacher. So my is a modifier. Sixth and grade both modify teacher. They are adjectives. An is an article. Environmental, that's an adjective. I'm going to pause here for a minute because if you watched the predicate adjectives video, you're thinking environmental is in the second part of the sentence. It's after the verb. It must be a predicate adjective. Incorrect, because remember, even if an adjective is in the predicate of the sentence, if it modifies a noun that comes next, it's an attributive adjective, not a predicate one. Now I'm looking at scientist. I'm thinking, this is a noun, but it renames the subject because the teacher and the scientist, they're the same person according to this sentence. So because scientist connects back to the subject, teacher, but it's after the verb, we label it predicate nominative, PN. Now, as I start to diagram this sentence, you'll notice that I start to cross words off. I like to do that with particularly long sentences because otherwise sometimes I forget to include all of the words. Usually I'll forget an article or an adjective, but if I'm crossing the words off as I go, I'm guaranteed not to miss a single one. And there you have the diagram. My 6th grade teacher had been an environmental scientist. I hope you're feeling successful. Maybe a little bit intimidated, but don't worry, you've got this. I'm going to display another sentence. I'd like you to try it on your own before you continue with the video. Here's your sentence. Their new house is awesome. Go ahead and pause the video, get a piece of paper or a whiteboard, and try it on your own. Then play the video and see if you're right. How did you do? Does yours match mine? Excellent. Let's try another one. Here's your sentence. The minivan is yours. Pause the video, try it on your own, then press play and see if you're right. How did you do? Excellent. Let's continue. One more on its own before I show you several sentences to try. All right, go ahead and try this. It looks like a short, simple sentence, doesn't it? But it has quite a lot going on. Pause the video, try it, and then we'll talk about the answer. All right, let's talk about this diagram for a minute. The subject is a possessive pronoun. So again, I'm less concerned with you knowing that hers is labeled possessive pronoun and more concerned with you know that it takes the place of the subject in the sentence. Is, of course, is the verb. Now, I'm willing to bet that some of you put lost as part of the verb because lost is an action. We can lose things. That's a verb. However, in this sentence, whatever this thing is that we're talking about, her whatever, is lost. She didn't lose it. She's not actively doing the losing. But lost in this sentence is acting as a predicate adjective. I know that because I can describe nouns as being lost. Lost dog, lost cat, lost slipper, lost shoe. So lost is acting as a predicate adjective in this sentence. All right? I'm going to display 3 more sentences on the screen. Pause the video, try them on your own, and then check your answers with the ones on the board in a moment. All right? Good luck. Go ahead and check your answers. Did you like all those modifiers in the last sentence? I sure hope so. So let's talk about using possessive pronouns in your real world writing. Now, like I've said during this video, it's less about identifying possessive pronouns as themselves. It's more about identifying the function or the purpose of the word in its sentence. This is really the first time that in diagramming we've experienced one word being used in multiple ways. Diagramming helps us visualize this. For example, let's take the word mine. I could say, this book is mine. In that case, mine is acting as a predicate pronoun or a predicate nominative, however you wish to label it. However, if I put mine at the beginning of the sentence, mine is red, now mine is acting as the subject. So going forward, it's less about memorizing a list of words and saying this word is this type of speech, this word goes here in a diagram. It's more about looking at how those words are related to the other words around them for this sentence in particular. That's really what sets diagramming apart from any other grammar skill, that it helps visualize the connections between parts of words and between parts of sentences. That's going to be an important concept for grammar going forward, and as you gain familiarity with it, it will help you improve, strengthen, and streamline your own writing. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Happy writing!